Hello everyone, today we are unpacking the most revolutionary administrative machine in ancient East Asia, the bureaucratic structure and official hierarchy of the Qin Dynasty, a meticulously designed system that abolished feudal division, concentrated all power in the imperial court, and laid the irreversible foundation for every subsequent Chinese imperial regime. Before 221 BCE, China was trapped in 500 years of chaos. The Zhou dynasty's feudal system had splintered the realm into dozens of warring states, where hereditary nobles ruled their own fiefs, ignored royal orders, and fought endlessly for land and power. When Qin Shi Huang conquered the last 6 states and unified China, he faced a fatal choice: repeat Zhou's feudal mistake, or build an entirely new system to hold his empire together. Rejecting the proposal of royal enfeoffment from Prime Minister Wang, he followed Li Si's radical advice to implement full centralization, creating a top-down bureaucratic network that stretched from the palace in Xianyang to the farthest village borders. This was not just a set of official titles, it was a political engine built for absolute control, efficiency, and unyielding authority, with every position calibrated to prevent rebellion, ensure loyalty, and execute the emperor's will without compromise. At the absolute apex of this structure stood the emperor, the sole source of all political, military, and judicial power. The Qin invented the title Huang di Emperor to signify supremacy over all previous rulers, banned hereditary posthumous titles to eliminate critical judgment of the throne, and reserved exclusive rights to terms like Zhen, the imperial self-reference, and Shi, the imperial seal. All critical decisions, military campaigns, official appointments, legal reforms, tax policies, originated and ended with the emperor. To enforce this, Qin Shi Huang set a brutal personal standard. He reviewed 120 jin, about 60 kilograms of bamboo slip memorials every single day, refusing rest until he finished, ensuring no official could hide or distort reality from the throne. This hyper-centralization was the backbone of the entire Qin system, with every official below serving only as the emperor's executive agent. Beneath the emperor was the 3 lords Sangong, the highest tier of central governance, forming a deliberate triangle of checks and balances to prevent any single official from seizing absolute power. The first and most prominent was the Chancellor, Junxian, the empire's top civil official, with 2 positions left and right, Chancellor the right being senior to split authority. The Chancellor oversaw all daily state affairs, presided over court conferences, coordinated lower officials, and drafted policy edicts, acting as the emperor's chief administrative deputy. Yet his power was intentionally limited to civil matters alone, with no control over the military. The second lord was the Grand Commandant, Tai Wei, the nominal supreme military commander, responsible for army training, officer evaluation, and military strategy. Critically, the Qin rarely filled this position permanently. The emperor himself retained direct command of all armies, holding the tiger tally that authorized troop mobilization, making the Grand Commandant a figurehead to avoid military coups. The third lord was the imperial counselor, Yushida Fu, the empire's chief supervisor and full chancellor, tasked with monitoring all officials, exposing corruption, impeaching misconduct, and managing state archives and legal documents. This role acted as the emperor's eyes and ears, keeping the chancellor and grand commandant in constant check. Together, these 3 roles separated administration, military, and supervision, a primitive but effective separation of powers that served only one master, the emperor. Below, the 3 lords were the 9 ministers, Juqing, the functional heads of central government, each managing a critical pillar of imperial rule, with clear, non-overlapping duties. The Minister of Ceremonies, Feng Cheng, oversaw royal ancestral rituals, heaven worship, astronomical observations, and educational institutions, upholding the ideological legitimacy of the dynasty. The Supervisor of Attendants, Lang Zhongling, controlled the emperor's personal guard and close attendants, managing palace access and internal security. The Commandant of Guards, Wei Wei, commanded the fixed garrisons at all palace gates, defending the imperial residence from external threats. The Minister of Coachmen, Tai Pu, managed the emperor's chariots and horses, as well as the entire national horse administration, vital for military transportation and communication. The Commandant of Justice, Ting Wei, the highest judicial officer, enforced Qin's strict legal code, reviewed major criminal cases, and ensured uniform law across the empire, embodying Qin's legalist core. The Grand Herald, Dianke, handled foreign diplomacy and relations with ethnic minority groups on the empire's borders. The director of the imperial clan, Zhang Zheng, managed the emperor's extended family, registering royal genealogy and resolving internal noble disputes. The Grand Minister of Agriculture, Zhi Su Ne Shi, controlled state finance, collecting land taxes, managing public granaries, and funding government operations and military campaigns. Finally, the small treasurer, Xiao Fu, managed the emperor's private wealth, taxing mountains, seas, lakes, and luxury goods to fund the imperial household, creating a strict separation between state treasury and royal purse. Each minister reported directly to the three lords, and ultimately the emperor, creating a rigid, efficient chain of command. While the central system was revolutionary, the Junxian commandery county system was the Qin's greatest tool to eliminate feudal separatism forever. Abolishing all hereditary fiefs, the Qin divided the entire empire into 36 commanderies, later expanded to over 40, with territorial expansion, each governed by 3 non-hereditary officials, appointed and dismissed solely by the central government. The governor, Jun Shou, was the top civil official, managing administration, justice, and people's livelihood. The military commandant, Jun Wei, handled local military affairs, public security, and suppressing uprisings. The inspector, Zhen Yushi, was a direct representative of the imperial counselor, sent from the capital to monitor the governor and commandant, report corruption, and ensure loyalty to Xianyang. This three-way local balance mirrored the central three lords, preventing local officials from forming independent warlords. Each commandery was divided into counties, the basic administrative unit of the Qin. Counties with over 10,000 households were led by a magistrate, Xianling, and smaller ones by a county chief, Xianzhang, both centrally appointed. Assisting them were the county assistant, Xiancheng, for administration and law, and the county commandant, Xianwei, for local military and police. Below the county lay the grassroots governance network. Townships, Xiang had 3 key posts, Sanlao, for moral education, Sifu, for tax collection and civil disputes, and Yujiao for public security. Below townships were hamlets, Li, run by Li chiefs, the lowest official tier governing ordinary households. Hamlets were linked by stations, Ting led by Ting chiefs, who managed postal services, road security, and temporary troop billeting. Liu Bang, the future founder of the Han Dynasty, once served as a Ting chief, showing the system's reach into ordinary society. Every level, from capital to hamlet, was staffed by appointed, non-hereditary officials, ending 800 years of feudal rule. The Qin did not stop at creating positions. It built a strict system to select, evaluate, and punish officials to maintain performance and loyalty. Official recruitment relied heavily on the military merit system, a legacy of Shang Yang's reforms, where commoners could earn rank and office by enemy kills in battle. The court also used recommendation and basic competency tests for civil posts. The most critical oversight tool was the Shangji annual reporting system. Every year, local officials submitted detailed written reports on household registration, land cultivation, tax revenue, grain storage, and crime rates to the central government. The three lords and emperor reviewed these reports, promoting efficient officials and demoting or punishing incompetent or corrupt ones harshly. The Qin legal code further enforced official conduct with the standards for officials outlining ethical duties and severe penalties for dereliction, bribery, or abuse of power. This combination of merit evaluation and terror kept the bureaucratic machine running with ruthless efficiency. This system's historical impact cannot be overstated. It was the world's first large-scale, centralized, bureaucratic empire, solving the fatal flaw of feudal fragmentation that had plagued ancient China. It enabled the Qin to standardize writing currency weights, measures, and roads across vast territories, creating a unified Chinese identity. Every subsequent dynasty from the Han to the Qing adopted and refined the Qin's core structure, centralized power, bureaucratic governance, and county-level administration, shaping over 2,000 years of Chinese history. Yet, the system's cruelty also doomed the Qin. Excessive taxation, forced labor, and brutal legal enforcement crushed common people, leading to mass uprisings that collapsed the empire in just 15 years. It was a paradox. The machine that built the first unified China was so unforgiving, it destroyed itself. To understand China's imperial history, you must first understand the Qin's administrative blueprint, a bold, ruthless, and transformative system that redefined what a state could be. It was not perfect, but it was revolutionary, a testament to how political structure can reshape civilizations. If you enjoyed this journey into ancient China, hit like, drop a comment, and subscribe for more epic history. See you next time.